Finding a venue for Christcore Fest was nothing like I thought it was going to be at all. And so we want to talk about what actually happened. I'm Carly.
I'm John.
And we're putting on Christcore Fest.
24th, 25th of April, 2027. 2 days, 20 bands.
When we started talking about this whole situation, what were we looking for? Like, what were our non-negotiables?
I think one of the most important non-negotiables is a venue that recognizes the culture behind hardcore and metal. There's been some really crazy stuff in the media last year, year before, with certain bands and venues not understanding the culture and there being a whole thing about it. I think one of the most important things is security, understanding, again, the culture. So many years, over the years, I've seen so many security handle mosh pits and stuff very poorly, and people have got hurt as a result. I
was dead set on it being indoors, and we went back and forth on that for a while.
Yeah.
I almost was like, well, fine, maybe we can have it outdoors. Spoiler alert, we're indoors. It's great. Air conditioning and everything. Because weather in Missouri in April is kind of unpredictable. It could be really warm, or it could be rainy, it could be windy, and I didn't want to have contingency plans for weather. So it's just going to be inside. It's got air conditioning if we need it. It's got airflow if we need it, especially considering the weather both in the US and the UK lately. I'm tired of being too hot. And I'm going to be real tired of being too cold in the winter. Yeah. So now, we don't have to. We got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You get the best of both worlds. Wrong audience.
I think one of the other big non-negotiables, as we've discussed in other videos, is bands being looked after, because it's just... for some bizarre reason, it appears to be unheard of in the whole scene. Unless you are a band the size of Korn, apparently you don't matter. I mean, that's a bit extreme, but that's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah. So when it came to venue, we wanted green rooms and showers.
Yeah.
And the whole nine. A place for the artists to feel like they can get ready before and after and feel safe if they need to be away from everybody or whatever. We wanted to create that environment for them.
So I've toured with Korn before, and one thing I've noticed is the moment people realize who you're with, they treat you differently. And they suddenly they'll bend over backwards to do anything for you. And I think one of the things that we really wanted to do was be the people that bent over backwards for the bands that are not Korn, to make them feel like they're being looked after, and actually genuinely being looked after. And
alright, so how many venues did we talk to before we got to where we are now?
Do we have enough time in this video?
Oh, that was a nightmare. I mean, I say that was a nightmare. That was John's nightmare. He was in charge of that. But
it was ridiculous because we booked the bands, and the process of looking for venues was we started with 800 to 1200 cap venues, and we approached them, and it was interesting. There was a very similar pattern that was oh, we're really interested, tell us about the festival. We tell them about the festival, they said, oh, that sounds amazing. And then the people that actually made the decisions suddenly either ghosted us or just were we can't do it, or were in some instances very, very rude.
I don't think we had anybody outright say we can't do it. We just had people, unless I'm wrong, we just had people completely just ignore us or be really disrespectful, because there was a couple of venues that stopped responding to him. So I reached out to see if I got a response, and I got a response pretty quick, which irritated me. And then they were just so rude and so short and didn't even read the email. It was wild. What
I think the craziest thing for me is, I'm not going to name any names, but there was a venue that were oh yeah, we'll do it for this price. And it's the same price as we're paying for the arena. And the thing was, it wouldn't even hold a quarter of the amount.
And they were going to nickel and dime us too for everything else. It was just the amount for the weekend.
I think one of the things I've told a few people is that I think that a lot of what we went through was God closing doors.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And our vision being too small, because we wanted to do this in a way that on paper is sensible. Like, I've promoted shows for 23 years, and I think the largest show I've done is probably about 800 or 900 people. And so that was a number I was comfortable with. God has been telling us that all the way that our vision has been too small. And that really, really struck me when we got to a point where we were pretty desperate, and we literally just reached out. We blanket emailed venues, and the one
Dozens.
the one venue that came back to us and said, hey, the date's available. We were like, oh, this is too big. And we ignored them for like a month. And then we finally were like, okay, let's just see.
Well, it's because she reached out to us again.
Yeah.
As just like hey, are you guys still interested?
We called them. They were available. So we decided to go to have a meeting. As we pulled up to the venue, we were like, wait, have we bitten off more than we can chew? This is huge. It's an arena. And so we were in the car. As we were waiting for her to come over, we just prayed, okay, God, if this is the venue that we're supposed to be promoting at, we just pray for peace the moment we walk into that venue. And if it's not, we want just really strong discernment over it, and just to know that this is not where we're supposed to be. And when we walked into that venue, it was just like, oh, this is it. We knew we'd found the venue.
As soon as we walked in, I could literally start piecing everything together. I was like, oh, this is where the vendors are going to go. And this is where, the stage is going to go down there. There's restrooms over here. We can put more people over here. And so even before we saw the green room situation, we were like, oh, like this is our place.
Yeah.
And we are going to do things just so much differently than we've experienced. Like, I mean, as far as vendors are concerned, I didn't want vendors to be off into a different space. I wanted them to basically be front and center. So that way vendors are, seen and not avoided, and people can go and actually talk to these small businesses. I have such a heart for small businesses. And with the way it's set up, I immediately could see, I'm like, oh, people are going to check in. And the moment they walk in the door, this is what they're going to see. And I started just pulling it all together, and it was like, oh, okay, this is a place. And the whole time I was like, there's no way, this is too good to be true. I was really worried about certain logistical things.
I was excited about okay, this is where the production room is going. This is where the back of the stage is going to be. And we can build the stage from here and have the ramp going up here. And and so we were nerding out over different elements. And
then we got back to the green rooms, the rooms that were going to turn into green rooms. And I never thought I'd be so excited over a bathroom in my life because we were trying to navigate the shower situation, because we wanted to make sure that the women that were coming would have a bathroom that they felt comfortable in. And literally I was like, man, I don't know how this is going to work. We're going to have to figure out a schedule. And we got to a bathroom right by a green room that has a locked door on it. And it's like, it was the only one. And it's just so perfect. I was like, okay, this is literally coming together so well. And it sounds so silly, but I'm so excited to stock the bathrooms up with everything that they need, and to stock the green rooms up with snacks and just fun, chill stuff. I could just see it all coming together in my mind. And it was really, really cool.
One thing that really threw me was how different events work in America compared to England. So, for example, I go into a venue and I'd be like, I want to put on this date, this event, and they would check the calendar. They would say, okay, this is available. This is the deposit. Then when it came to the actual day, you would pay the remainder of the venue. But the thing is, the money covered everything from the bar staff, the security, the insurance. The venue already had it. We didn't need to do anything. And I thought it was interesting that a lot of the festivals in America that I've been to have all said, no crowd surfing, no mosh pitting, knowing full well that they're going to do it. But it's for insurance purposes, because it's if anyone gets hurt in the mosh pit, which, will happen, they can't sue the venue, because the venue is oh, well, we told you. So, but I find that the differences are crazy.
The venue that we do have, the Wilson Logistics Arena, they're wonderful. And so they're going to be providing a lot of they are going to be doing concessions. They're going to be providing janitorial staff. They're going to be helping us to set up, tear down, that sort of stuff. And that's going to be really, really helpful. We're still going to be bringing in a lot of volunteers, and we're going to be hiring a small staff as well. when it's closer. But like they're hiring a lot of like the little things that I didn't think about until like a couple weeks leading up to us, looking at the venue. And I was like, oh, I was worried about these things, and now like these things are going to be handled. So that part's cool. But getting multiple different types of insurance and making sure that we've got the insurance if anything happens to the building, and then and then there's another insurance for if anything happens to an attendee, and then the insurance where if anything happens to a band member, like making sure that we've got all of these things covered. And then we have to talk to the fire marshal once we get the layout, like all of these little things. It's a lot, but the venue that we have, I genuinely believe that God gave us this venue. They're so helpful. They already have a lot of connections, and so they're like being really helpful, like walking us through all that. All right, so at the end of the day, God gave us a venue. Yes, we talked about a lot of things, but why specifically were you excited about the arena?
I think it was just seeing the venue and its potential, what it's going to be. And the fact that there's so much stuff there that's already in place, like we discussed, like the green rooms, we've already got that mapped out. We've already got mapped out the production room. And I think everything that we could possibly, like the concession stands and stuff, like the fact that it's, we don't need to worry about bringing in porta potties for being outdoors.
Yeah.
Like it's already all there.
So the Wilson Logistics Arena in Springfield, Missouri at the Ozark Fairgrounds is where we're going to be holding it. We're really excited about it. We did a little venue tour on our Instagram page. I will link it down in the description. But if you could give anyone a piece of advice for anyone who's wanting to do a festival, as someone who's been behind the stage, on the stage, and starting your own festival, what would you recommend considering getting the venue sorted?
Making sure you know what you need before you go to the venue, and making sure that the venue can cover those bases, and if not, making sure that you know where you can go to cover those bases. So for example, we are bringing in an external production team, whereas some venues might already have an in-house production team. Knowing your needs and seeing what the venue can fulfill the most of before you settle on a venue.
And I think with that too, being flexible, because when we were initially looking at venues, John was very set of like, we want to find a place that does music where they have a stage and they have equipment and they have everything already set up, and the arena doesn't. And so in order to get to where we were being called, we had to be flexible in that and adjust for that. And then because that was something else that I was really scared of. I'm like, man, if we get a place where we have to, build our own stage and all that, like we're going to have to learn a whole new set of skills. And God said, all right, you better learn quick. Now we get to work with an incredible team of people to help pull this together. Yeah. And also we budgeted for that as well. The arena was cheaper than we thought it was going to be, which means that we can allocate those finances towards the actual physical production side of things. Yeah. And it wasn't that much of a shock because we kind of accounted for that.
And like, while you will be able to reach out to them, it's like, it's better while you're there to have your questions written down to ask while you're there.
Even if you think it's a stupid question, just ask the question, write it down, or record it, something, because we were pretty dang well prepared, and yet now there's like things that I wish would be answered on my timeline, but when you're communicating with other people, things just don't happen that way necessarily. So, you don't know what you don't know. Ask other people that have done it. Ask other people who've put on festivals. Ask other people who have built stages or things or whatever, like be willing to do that. So
make sure that you are following along for our journey. Make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTubey things. And if you want to stay informed as well with everything ahead of time, go to our website. It will be in the description. Sign up to the mailing list, because not only we will get early access to these videos, you'll get early access to all the information. You'll learn about which bands are about to be announced before they get announced. So if you want an inside scoop, sign up to the mailing list. Yes, it's going to be really, really good. Thank you guys so much for following along, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all. Can you say bye? Bye.